Slap City. Today, we're going to break down the Jordan Oasis versus Jonathan Correa match. Plus, I've been having a few beers, so we're in for a treat, and we about to break this shit down. And we have the worst ref in Power Slap history. Anyway, yeah, this one was goofy. So with that said, let's get into it. So Oasis won the toss, so he's slapping first here.
He's the stronger guy as well. We talked before about the insane amount of weight that he moves in the gym.
Hand and count, sir. Hand and count.
Well, how good is his
right
chin?
On three. Right on three, you must measure. You must measure.
Jordan Oasis has shown in the past.
Get in the box.
First round knockout power.
We know how Power Slap is with the rules. Everything can be bent, and people just don't take advantage. Let's break this stance down, okay? First of all, his feet are pretty wide here, wider than most people you'll see when they take a strike. This is brilliant, straight up. And some people naturally have their feet kind of like this, like that, and that very well may be the case. So I may be giving him too much credit here. But if you, the least balanced you can possibly be, literally, unless you're on one leg, if you're on two legs, the least balanced you could possibly be is if your legs and feet are perfectly straight. Even if you can go, boom, like a half an inch to an inch, the amount of leverage you get on that extra half inch to keep you, especially your right foot, on the deepest level, this is nothing more than common sense. So anyway, yeah, this is a great defensive stance, nice knee flex, just as close to the table. You can see like his shirt is touching, but his stomach's right about here. So he even has 3 to 4 inches back from the table, which you want to get as far away as possible. You want to be as balanced as possible. And then look at his chin right here. They're definitely going to make him reset this, but this is ideal. When I saw this and his fights on Road to the Title, even in my preview, you can go back and watch. I said, I hope he doesn't stick his chin straight up in the air, because that's exactly what he did both times and still took some hits before he got knocked out. So the second I saw this stance, I was like, God damn, I should have bet on Correa. And I couldn't really bet anyway because my homie had to place bets for me. So I didn't want to give him like a grocery list. Shout out Zach Attack, Tyson the Slap Kid. But anyway, yeah, they're definitely going to make him reset. But this.
And the look at his eyes as well.
Chin up. Right there.
Oh, he has
Stay
the
there.
eye
Don't
of
move.
the tiger
Don't move.
tonight, man.
Well, there you go.
Ready.
Joaquin, you good? Mike?
Like this, people don't even understand. It does not get better than this. This is the best defensive stance you can have.
Kind of nervous. He's milking this.
He loves it.
1, 2.
He is shaking. Takes it. No problem. Took a big deep breath first, though.
I remember this specific second, and my girl can attest to this. All right, let's pause it here. When he ate this, like to a certain degree, I actually didn't even have him in the one parlay. I should have put him in there because borderline called him winning. I didn't say he was going to win, but I basically all but said that he was going to win in my preview. I was like, okay, like unless he royally fucks up, he's winning this match. Now it did look a little flinchy. So at that point, when it's like borderline, like it was clearly a brace because he was breathing in and going like this. It was a lot of movement. So at that point, it's like, okay, was the placement on point? Because if he lands perfectly, then it didn't affect anything. So that technically by the rules would not be a flinch. It's only a flinch if it affects the power of the strike. Minor movements are allowed. So let's take another look. All right, so this is what you have to understand about Power Slap replays. Like, if you watch it in real time, this one, he didn't move at all there, but there's a reason for that. You know why it didn't look like he moved? Because if you picture the video, they dragged, like he goes like this, and then he goes like this, and then once he stops, that's where they start the replay. You see this a lot. So that, like on the surface, this is one of the clearer clubs you'll ever see in your literal entire life. But they clearly showed the replay after he went like this. So you can't take this angle as a club. Straight up, you can't, because he clearly did something with movement. If you don't call a finish, that's fine, but you certainly can't call a club, but you have to be realistic with it. So, but I mean, that shit was right on the fucking button, man. Straight up. So the second he ate this, I was like, and when you look there, like, yeah, he moved forward. So the second you're not calling a flinch, you cannot call a club. You just can't. So
Be loose up there. You want to be loose. You want to be tense all the time either. You want to fucking breathe at the right time.
Robert Trujillo, you see right there in the red corner.
Federico.
dude, people underestimate. All right. People like Trujillo, he doesn't get enough props for his coaching. Like on the surface, if you just watch him and Bordeaux chirping for the fouls, influencing the fouls, and is arguably the gold standard of coaching. Trujillo is slept on in coaching because the value of what he's saying, like to this day, even some of the top guys don't understand what he just said there. He's saying the complete opposite of what Correa just did. So Correa went, he sucked in. Trujillo, he waits and then he goes, shh, like he's striking in MMA. Like you watch them striking, they go, shh, shh. So Trujillo was literally telling him the complete opposite of what everyone does. Somebody should probably fucking listen to him because it clearly works.
I would say in power slap, the coaching.
So first time we ever saw Oasis take a strike right here. Honestly, I was impressed with this stance. Absolutely excellent stance from Oasis too. Literally. The only difference between those two was that Correa, whether he meant to or not, had his right foot a little bit angled out, which is naturally going to give you a little bit more balance. But all right, let's go. Great measure right here. You can see heel of the hand is right at the tip of the chin.
What's your measure?
Of Correa. That translates to power.
2.
Eats it up. No problem. Crowd is loving the global nomad up there.
All right. Look, I wasn't sold on Oasis coming in this match, and I'm not even saying that that was the best strike, but he didn't move at all there, and he ate the living fuck out of that. And not only that, he did the literal Colonel Sanders on this dude. And the criteria for power slap, and people still to this day, it's insane. They don't realize this. If you look at the rules, there is literally no preference over the effectiveness of your slap and the reaction when you get slapped. As stupid as it is, I agree. That's arguably the dumbest rule I've ever heard, but that is quite literally a rule. So in this instance, I think the slaps are basically the same, but I think that Oasis had a clear playoff there. I think that he didn't move at all. He didn't. So I'd give that round to Oasis. And it was cool that we saw him take a strike.
Wrestling performative skills.
That was a really good slap.
Just be real careful.
I mean,
Feet up,
technically,
see that?
looks really good.
His right foot.
All right. Well, first of all right, we're going to bring that back. I looked away to hit my vape and then came back and still saw that was a step. I heard something that resembled the left foot, which is actually correct. So yeah, we got to dial in here because this is wild. So let's take another look.
Eats it up. No problem.
Crowd is loving the global nomad up there.
A little bit. His feet before he took it.
Leaning on those pro wrestling performative skills.
That was a really good slap.
Just be real careful.
I mean,
I don't even need this replay, to be honest. All right, so first things first, Oasis didn't move at all. So there's no flinch in play, which means that anything that resembles a club is actually a club. You could have picked either or there. You could have taken case number A, case number B. It would have been step, club. It doesn't matter. If we're going by the rules, that should have been an offensive foul. Whether you want to call stepping on the left foot or clubbing on the right hand was clearly deep. You name it, that should have been a foul. Cannot argue about that. I was low-key, I was rooting for him, Correa. I was. Like, I have to. But this is a breakdown. We're going to tell it like it is. I wanted him to win. But anyway, that round should have been a foul on Correa offensive. So that should have been a 10-8 for Oasis regardless.
And you see,
That's a
there's
round
a lot
two.
of gamesmanship here.
That's your measure.
Oasis.
Dude, look at the size of Correa against Oasis.
Look, right now Correa is just hating life, thinking, just get it over with.
One. There you go. Two.
That's a really good shot.
He ruled a fair blow.
All right, that was a good shot from Oasis. Now it was the same with Correa. Like that was like it was a little bit less. We'll watch the replay here. And that was pretty close to a step on Oasis too. All right, so stepping to this day, I've been very careful about pushing this rule, but like at this point, it's just like I don't even care, man. If you're a Power Slap fan and you still don't believe me, but you watch my shit, like it is what it is. Straight up, the rule is after the hand hits the face, dude, you could do a literal figure 8, 540 aerial and land on 1 foot. If your hand hits their face before that happens, it is a clean slap. Whether your name's Brian, this one was close, but I think I'm cool with this. Let's take a look at the placement. See, all right. So this is like if you're gonna move, that's the game you play. Like you are not gonna get this call if you go even a little bit, completely negates the ability to call this. I personally, and he survived the whole fight. So this was actually value add for him. No matter what you do, you cannot win a power slap match if you don't either knock them out or make it all 3 rounds. But I mean, on the surface, if you look at that, just from that replay back here, I'll take this shit all day if I'm in power slap. Not to say it still can't knock you out, but so for that round, I mean, that one was close too. Honestly, in my first scoring, I'm pretty sure I gave Correa the first round. So I think I'm actually like low key completely flipping my pick here, but that's what we do on breakdowns. The first round was close, man. I think you could have gave it to Correa, you could have gave it to Oasis, but after watching this one, I think that Oasis won this round. So right now, it very well could be 2-0 Oasis.
Okay, let's go. Let's fucking get this shit, baby.
You good, buddy?
What was that?
Okay. Fighter recovery.
Yeah. This is this last one. Let's go.
Here we go.
Correa coming in again with that 1-1 record. Ben over Logan Greenhall, lost to Delvin Hamlet, but this is his first time on the Power Slap stage since 2023.
Right there.
There we go.
Okay, perfect. Stay.
That's wild, man.
Because that generates power. However, you've got to seize up at the final second. Flinch, I think. I don't know. Seemed like Jordan kind of leaned into that.
Yeah, that one looked like a fucking clear flinch to me. Clear. It wasn't the best slap, but it wasn't even a horrible slap. Let's take a look at Oasis. Okay. Definitely a flinch. It was honestly very good timing. He waited till he was like here to flinch, that makes it extremely difficult to call in real time, especially when you connect like that and it makes that sound. So it was definitely a flinch, but pretty good timing by Oasis here. Yeah, you can see right at the end.
A really good shot.
When I was watching this live, this is exactly how I had it. Rewatching it, if you're not calling any fouls at all, I borderline have this 2-0 Oasis right now.
Kind of stumbled Correa ever so slightly.
Where we set you, you have to stay. You can't move. Okay? Keep that there.
Since when? Because I just watched Oasis fucking lean into that shit like no other.
In combat sports, it's all about tucking your chin. But this is like, no, present that target, buddy.
They're so worried about his chin. It's like, you got to be worried about that left shoulder. But as a defender, if they're going to set you and let you go like that, then don't fucking move. Stay exactly where you're at. So again, couldn't have been a more impressive performance on the defensive end for Correa. Absolutely excellent.
Get that chin nice and high in the air.
1, 2.
Oh! Man. If one more bit of a win.
All right, before we let this play, if you follow me, if you talk to me, you know exactly how I feel about this. But before I even say anything, like I have to say this, okay? The stick that he threw, that's literally a pool noodle. A pool noodle. This is the same tool that Power Slap shows on the broadcast of people in the back whipping people in the face as practice, okay? It's the same shit. That stick might even be softer, to be honest, and less harsh. It's the same stick that people practice getting hit on the chin with. This dude is trying to play the slap off, trying to win a damn fight with stage presence, goes like this, and then Oasis does the fucking, just the soccer flop, the LeBron James. Like, look, man. But yeah, no, that shit was soft in my opinion.
Claim assault.
Hey, come on. You can't do that.
He whipped it with the buzzer.
That's all you fucking got. 1 point blue.
All right, so he takes a point here. First of all, so this is important because I checked the rules, right? He calls unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's be clear on that. He clearly says that. I checked the website. Not once on there is there an unsportsmanlike conduct foul, but there is like a hate speech. So it's like at that point, that would fall under unsportsmanlike. Why don't you just name it unsportsmanlike? And then on top of that, it's like, okay, so it's a defensive foul technically. So at that point, he's not automatically winning the round 10-8 like he would if Oasis like stepped or clubbed on an offensive foul. So at that point, he's losing 1 point. So if Correa wins this round 10-9, then it would be a 9-9. If the judges had gave the round to Oasis 10-9, then he would have lost a point and it would have been a 10-8 Oasis. But what you'll see is a lot of the judges had Correa winning this round. So it ended up being a 9-9, which I was a little bit confused about because, again, there's not even a rule for fucking unsportsmanlike conduct in the shit. So this shit was wild. All right, let's take a look. All right. Clean or nah? Because out of all of them, it didn't look like Correa moved at all on that one. And this is, I mean, goddamn, if the sky isn't blue and this isn't a club. And then also what you have to understand is that, like, yeah, his shoulder is pointed forward here. But if Oasis's hand had hit his shoulder, his fingers would be back right now and he would be landing with here. His pinky is grazing it a little bit. Okay, a little bit. But it's not even bending backwards. It's literally like skimming the top. If he had actually clipped it, like you'll see sometimes, it would be like this, which in that case, that's definitely a flinch. You're not allowed to do that. So here it's like, okay, the shoulder, or I mean, not even the shoulder clips the like pinky finger. It's not even bending back. So you can kind of rule a flinch out here. So this is pretty much clearly a club. They don't end up calling it, obviously. How's it? All right, so the feet is right now until the slap lands, like just watch the feet, and then they won't show like his reaction until after. Watch this. Oof, that looked early to me there. All right, I don't even have a metaphor right now, but this was not a clean match. Now watch Oasis' face. OMG. Straight up. Like, look at that. Look at that, man. Like, god damn. I fucking bumped my head harder walking in the fridge than that shit.
Wing the button at your opponents.
Can you say power stick?
So as of right now, I mean, originally I had it 1-1, but as of right now, rewatching, like, there's a world where Oasis could be up 2 here. I mean, obviously with no fouls.
Final shot.
Nice and
At
loose
your
like
measure.
Gumpy.
Jonathan Correa.
May need a knockout.
1.
He does.
Look at the side of Oasis's face.
Yeah, but he never played that off too well.
I disagree. I mean, he was clearly like, he's playing it off here, and that was excellent. That was the best thing that Oasis did all match, was that right there. If you're this is what he literally did the Dorian Perez. But this is important because we know he can slap. We've seen him knock people out before. It's all about the defensive end now, right? So he took a massive shot. He quite clearly made him stumble a little bit. Like, it's not even debatable. But then the second that Oasis 2, he plays it off with the dance move. And like that, you can't do it any better than that. You can't. He didn't look all that great in this match, but those are the intangibles that matter way more than a one strike knockout. How did that replay start so quick? That's fucking weird. I mean, he can low key dance. He can.
It's a close round.
The best eat of that.
Bordeaux telling him to watch a shot, even though it doesn't matter anymore. Actually, it technically could, I guess, if it went to an extra round. Shout out to Bordeaux. Yeah, all right. That proved my point right there. I had said that it looked like a flinch. I think it was the first round. And then they show the replay and he didn't move at all. That's because they wait until he goes like this and then they start the replay. So once this replay starts, I mean, this windup he's like 3 inches away from his face, which is impossible to show a flinch because, I mean, in my opinion, Oasis clearly flinched there. Hopefully they show the overhead. I can't remember that. Yeah, see, that one doesn't look that bad. That borderline looks like a club too on that angle. Okay, here we go. All right, actually the flinch wasn't as bad as I thought. All right, so fuck it. I'm cool there. Fuck it. I mean, he's been moving all match. They haven't called it, so let that one go. I think that Correa won that round pretty clearly. So originally I had Correa first round, Oasis second round, then Correa third round, but with the point deduction 9-9, which would have meant it was 1-1 a draw. Watching it back, I mean, I've been drinking a little bit, but to me right now, there's a much clearer world where I think half this time you could give this to Oasis. There was like 15 fouls that could have been called on both sides. So it's not even a match where it's like, even if somebody got robbed, I mean, each person got robbed arguably like 10 times there. I mean, we had steps, clubs, fucking flinches, you name it, fucking shoulder brush offs that result in a point deduction. I mean, you name it, it had it. So watching back right here, borderline just a weird, goofy fucking fight, to be honest. We'll listen to the scores because I forget. But yeah, so we'll see. But I don't know, man. It was a weird one. But that right there, when I saw Oasis get a little bit rocked and then play it off, I was like, that was the moment of everything. I was like, all right, he just might be able to do this shit. Like, if you can eat that big of a strike and then get rocked and still play it off with that stage presence.
Here's Justin.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored the contest 29-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Jonathan Freaking Rambo Correa.
Wow.
All right, so let's break down that math real quick. So all 3 judges had it 29-27 Correa, which a 30-27 would be 3 rounds to none. So that would have meant with the point deduction in the last round that basically every single judge had him winning every single round except the last round, which he won anyway, but got a point deduction. So it would have been a tie. And then the 29-27 comes from him winning the first 2 rounds. So that was interesting. I mean, it's hard for me to watch that one and think that Oasis didn't win 1 round. Again, I was happy for him. Oasis was going to get another match no matter what. I wasn't even convinced we would ever see him again, to the point where it was like I borderline forgot his matches straight up. So yeah, I don't know. I was happy you won. It was tough with the movement from Correa, but yo, this is power side. Like, you look at that hair right there. It was like you want to fight either these 2 dudes that they both showed who are top fucking guys. Good luck, because they, like, even some of the best, like, you'll notice that, like, it's not, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end of the day, like, in a game of offensive defense and slapping and the rule set, like, if you want to be the best, man, you better be analyzing what they call, what they don't like, and you're going up against the righty. So even if you're man enough to the point where you're like, I'm not moving a millimeter, but yet you look at Logan, who is about to fucking fight for the title and looks like a goddamn problem. And there is not one slap he's ever taken where he hasn't moved at least a couple centimeters, knowing that you're allowed to move a little bit as long as it doesn't affect the power of the strike. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Peace.